Smoke filled the sky. Ash fell like snow. Elara, once vibrant, was now a graveyard of dreams. Buildings lay shattered, monuments to a forgotten peace. From the wreckage, a lone figure emerged. Arya, the last phoenix, her feathers the color of fire, surveyed the devastation. Her heart ached with an ancient sorrow. Arya spread her wings, the movement stirring the silence. A low, mournful cry escaped her throat. It echoed through the ruins, a testament to the pain that lingered. Yet, even in this desolation, a spark of hope flickered within her. The phoenix, a creature of rebirth, carried within it the promise of renewal. And Arya, bound to her nature, would not let Elara fade. She would find them, the scattered survivors, embers of hope amidst the ashes. She would use her magic, the ancient power that flowed through her veins, to heal the land and its people. Elara would rise again. It had to, for within its broken walls lay not just the ghosts of the past, but the seeds of the future. Days turned into weeks. Arya soared across the ravaged landscape, her sharp eyes searching. She found them in hidden caves, huddled in the remnants of forests. Each survivor bore the scars of war, their faces etched with loss. But in their eyes, Arya saw a flicker of defiance, a refusal to surrender to despair. There was Elara, the young earthweaver, her hands calloused, her spirit unbroken. Her magic, once used to coax life from the earth, now lay dormant, choked by grief. And there was Kael, the silent guardian, his armor battered, his sword still clasped tight. His eyes, once filled with laughter, now held a haunted look. Arya approached each with a gentle grace, her voice a soothing balm to their wounded souls. She spoke of hope, of a future where Elara would bloom again. She shared her own sorrow, her own burden as the last of her kind. And slowly, hesitantly, the survivors began to respond. Their stories tumbled out, tales of loss and courage, of love and sacrifice. Arya listened with her heart, her empathy a beacon in their darkness. She offered them comfort, her words weaving threads of hope back into their shattered lives. They were not alone, she assured them. They had each other and they had her. Elara, the earthweaver, sat hunched in the mouth of a cave, her eyes fixed on the barren earth. Her hands, once so skilled at coaxing life from the soil, lay idle in her lap. She felt empty, her spirit as barren as the land around her. The war had taken so much. Her family, her home, her hope. Arya landed softly beside her, her fiery plumage a stark contrast to Elara's dull brown cloak.
Elara, I know your pain. I see it reflected in your eyes.
Elara didn't look up. How could this creature, this mythical being of fire and legend, understand the depth of her sorrow?
Look around you, Elara. The earth mourns, but it is not dead. It yearns for your touch, for the life you alone can awaken.
Elara finally raised her head, her eyes meeting Arya's. The phoenix's gaze was unwavering, filled with a quiet understanding that surprised Elara. Arya dipped her head, gently touching Elara's hand with her beak. A jolt of warmth spread through Elara's arm, a spark of something long forgotten. It felt like hope, fragile yet undeniable.
Come, let us begin.
Kael stood on a windswept hilltop, the remnants of his armor creaking in the breeze. Below him, the ruins of Elara stretched out like a forgotten dream. He gripped the hilt of his sword, his knuckles white. The echoes of battle still rang in his ears, the screams of the fallen a constant torment. He had failed them, his heart whispered. He, the protector, the guardian, had been unable to save them. The weight of his grief threatened to crush him. A shadow fell over him, momentarily blocking the sun. Kael looked up, his hand instinctively tightening on his sword. Kael lowered his sword, his shoulder slumping slightly. He had heard whispers of the phoenix, legends passed down through generations, but he had never believed, not truly. S1. Peace, Kael. Your grief honors them, but it does not bind you.
You cannot carry the burden alone, Kael. Let us share the weight, you and I, and together we will find a way to rebuild.
Arya landed gracefully beside Kael, her fiery presence oddly comforting.
You were their shield in life, Kael, she said, her voice soft yet firm. Do not abandon them now.
Kael looked at his calloused hands, the scars a testament to a life spent protecting others. He had always been a man of action, not words. But now, words were all he had left.
"What can I do?" he asked, his voice hoarse with unshed tears. "Elara is gone. Elara is not gone," she corrected gently. "It is merely broken. And broken things, Kaelin, can be mended." "But how?" Kaelin asked, his voice filled with doubt. "We are few, our resources scarce." "We have something more precious than resources, Kaelin," she said. "We have each other."
Arya's words resonated within Kaelin. She was right. They had each other, a motley crew of survivors bound together by loss and a flicker of hope. He was not alone.
"What would you have me do?" Kaelin asked, his voice regaining some of its former strength. "Gather the others," Arya instructed, her gaze unwavering. "Tell them there is hope. Tell them we will rebuild."
Kaelin nodded, a sense of purpose settling in his chest. He would become their voice, their rallying cry. He would honor the fallen by protecting the living. And so, Kaelin, the silent guardian, found his voice. He traveled from settlement to settlement, sharing Arya's message of hope and renewal. He spoke of unity, of strength in numbers, of the phoenix who promised a brighter future. Slowly, hesitantly at first, the survivors began to believe. They emerged from their shelters, their eyes drawn to the sky, searching for the fiery bird who had become a symbol of their resilience. They were Elaria's children, and they would not be broken. Deep within the ruins of the royal palace, beneath layers of rubble and ash, lay the Heartstone. Legend spoke of the stone's power, its connection to the very life force of Elara. It was said that as long as the Heartstone glowed, Elara would endure. But now, the stone lay dark, its magic seemingly extinguished. Arya knew that to revive Elara, she needed to rekindle the Heartstone's power. She gathered the survivors in the palace courtyard, their faces a mixture of hope and apprehension.
"The Heartstone sleeps," Arya announced, her voice echoing through the ruins. "But its slumber is not eternal. I need your help," she continued, her gaze sweeping over the assembled survivors. "Together we will awaken the Heartstone and breathe life back into Elara." A collective gasp arose from the crowd. Could they truly accomplish such a feat? "Each of you possesses a spark of magic within you," Arya explained, a flicker of Elaria's life force. "Together, our combined strength can rekindle the Heartstone's flame."
One by one, the survivors stepped forward, their eyes shining with a newfound determination. They raised their hands, their magic, dormant for so long, beginning to stir. Elara, the Earthweaver, stood at the forefront, her eyes closed in concentration. Her hands glowed with a soft green light, the earth responding to her touch. Kaelin, the silent guardian, stood beside her, his sword gleaming in the sunlight. He raised his blade, his calloused hand steady. A surge of energy pulsed from him, a wave of protective magic that washed over the crowd. The air crackled with energy as the survivors combined their powers, their individual sparks merging into a brilliant tapestry of light. A beam of pure energy shot skyward, piercing the clouds and illuminating the sky with a kaleidoscope of colors. Arya spread her wings, catching the surge of energy and channeling it towards the Heartstone. The stone, which had been cold and lifeless, began to tremble. A soft, warm light emanated from its core, growing steadily brighter. The ground vibrated with the Heartstone's awakening, sending tremors through the ruins. The survivors watched in awe as the Heartstone pulsed with renewed life. The air shimmered around it, the very fabric of reality seeming to warp and bend. A wave of pure magic washed over them, invigorating their bodies and souls. The light intensified, engulfing Arya in its brilliance. She cried out, a sound both mournful and triumphant, as the Heartstone's magic surged through her. Her feathers ignited, burning brighter than 1,000 suns, her form shifting and changing in the heart of the inferno. When the light subsided, Arya stood before them, transformed. Her plumage shimmered with iridescent hues, her eyes glowed with an inner fire. The last phoenix had become a beacon of hope, her very being a testament to Elaria's enduring spirit. The Heartstone pulsed steadily, its light bathing the ruins in a warm glow. Life-giving energy flowed outward, spreading through the ravaged land. Plants, long withered and dead, sprouted anew, their leaves unfurling towards the sky. Flowers bloomed in vibrant profusion, carpeting the ground in a tapestry of color. The air, once thick with smoke and ash, now carried the sweet scent of renewal. Elara, though scarred, was reborn, and as the sun rose on a new dawn, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Arya and the survivors of Elara looked to the future with hearts filled with hope. They had risen from the ashes, stronger and more united than ever before. Their journey was far from over, but they would face it together, their spirits